Did this episode of The Simpsons from 19 years ago predict the future? It shows the entrance to 20th Century Fox movie studios. Now check out the fine print, a division of Walt Disney Company. It's not the first time The Simpsons has had a crystal ball. Back in the year 2000, it predicted the election of Donald Trump.
What if The Simpsons secretly predicted Trump's shocking resignation in 2025? This iconic show has stunned fans before with eerily accurate predictions, from presidents to tech trends. In this video, we'll uncover the hidden scene hinting at his unexpected exit. Stick around. You won't want to miss the twist that has everyone talking. The Simpsons track record? The Simpsons is scary good at seeing the future. This cartoon show has been right about so many things. It's like they have a magic crystal ball or something. Let's look at the times they got it totally right. Back in 1995, The Simpsons showed us something crazy. In an episode called Lisa's Wedding.
As for the wedding, it happens at the school, and Lisa notices that Skinner was ready to escape. But Bart was waiting at the exit for that. At this moment, Mrs. Crabapple shows up, and Skinner tries to sneak out, but Homer stops him.
People were talking into their watches. They made phone calls with them. They even did video calls. This was way before smartphones existed. The Apple Watch didn't come out until 2015. That's 20 years later. Think about this. In 1995, most people still used pagers. The internet was new and slow. Most folks didn't even have cell phones yet. But the Simpsons writers thought, hey, what if people wore computers on their wrists? Everyone probably laughed at the idea back then. Now look around. Millions of people wear Apple Watches. They wear Samsung watches. They wear Fitbits. They talk into them just like the cartoon showed. They get messages. They make calls. They check their health. The Simpsons saw it all coming 20 years early. Was it just a lucky guess? Maybe. But it sure looks like they knew something we didn't. Here's another wild one. In 1998, The Simpsons made a joke that seemed impossible. In one episode, they showed a sign. It said, 20th Century Fox, a division of Walt Disney Company. Everyone laughed because it was so silly. Back then, Disney and Fox were enemies. They were like McDonald's and Burger King. They fought for viewers. They made different kinds of movies. Disney was all about family stuff. Fox made edgier content. No way would Disney ever buy Fox. In 2019, Disney paid $71 billion to buy Fox. That's billion with a B.
Disney just purchased 20th Century Fox. A bold move, some might say, that seems to have come out of nowhere. But some Twitter followers were eager to point out that The Simpsons predicted Disney buying 20th Century Fox in its 10th season, which, by my account, is 20 years ago.
Suddenly, Mickey Mouse owned everything. He got the X-Men movies, he got Avatar, he even got The Simpsons itself. And the craziest part was that The Simpsons predicted their own future. They basically said, one day Disney will own us. And it happened exactly like they joked about 20 years earlier. Remember the time when video calls seemed like science fiction? The Simpsons didn't think so. All through the 1990s and 2000s, they showed characters making video calls. People talked face to face through screens. They had business meetings over video. It looked totally normal. This was years before Skype. Way before Zoom. Before anyone thought we'd all be staring at screens to talk to each other. But The Simpsons knew. They showed it like it was no big deal. Then 2020 happened. The pandemic hit. Suddenly everyone was doing video calls. Kids went to school on Zoom. People worked from home on video. Families stayed connected through screens. We all became just like the cartoon characters from 20 years ago. The Simpsons made it look easy and normal. They were right again. But that's just the beginning. The show's biggest prediction was so crazy, so impossible, that even the writers thought it was just a joke. President Trump. But the biggest prediction happened in 2000. In an episode called Bart to the Future, they showed Lisa as president. She said something about fixing problems from President Trump. Everyone laughed. It was supposed to be the funniest, most impossible thing ever. Donald Trump was just a rich guy back then. He had buildings with his name on them. He was on TV sometimes. But being a president, that was the joke. It was so crazy that it was funny. The writers picked Trump because his presidency seemed impossible. They wanted the most ridiculous idea they could think of. It was meant to be pure comedy. Then 2016 happened. Trump ran for president, and he won. The impossible joke became real news. The whole world watched it happen. These aren't small predictions. These are big, specific things that came true. Smartwatches. Disney buying Fox. Video calls everywhere. President Trump. The Simpsons called them all. Some people think it's just luck. Others think the writers are really smart about trends. A few people think something weirder is going on, but here's what we know for sure. The Simpsons has been right about the future more times than most experts. They've turned a cartoon into the world's best prediction machine. Every time they get something right, more people start paying attention. So when The Simpsons makes a new prediction, maybe we should listen, because their track record speaks for itself. They've seen our future before we lived it. With a track record like this, people started watching every new episode like a crystal ball. And then came 2025, a year that would test just how far these predictions could go. Trump's 2025 challenges. Donald Trump's second presidency looks like something straight out of a TV drama. Every day brings new headlines. Every week brings new problems. It's chaos that feels almost cartoonish, like someone took a Simpsons episode and made it real life. The legal troubles never stop. Trump faces multiple court cases across different states. There are criminal charges in New York. There are federal cases in Washington. Georgia has its own legal drama brewing. His lawyers work overtime just to keep track of all the hearings and depositions. Each court appearance becomes a media circus. Reporters crowd outside courthouses. Cameras follow every move. Trump gives statements on courthouse steps. His supporters gather with signs and flags. His opponents protest across the street. The whole thing feels like theater, not justice. Political controversies pile up faster than snow in a blizzard. Every speech sparks debates. Every social media post goes viral for the wrong reasons. Cabinet members resign and get replaced regularly. White House staff turnover breaks records from previous administrations. The economy sends mixed signals daily. Stock markets swing up and down like roller coasters. Inflation numbers change every month. Gas prices fluctuate wildly. Housing costs keep climbing in major cities. Small businesses struggle to predict what comes next. Trade wars start and stop without warning. International relationships strain under constant pressure. Allies express concern privately. Enemies mock America publicly. Global markets react to every Trump tweet or speech with uncertainty. Media coverage never sleeps. Cable news channels run Trump stories 24 hours a day. Social media explodes with reactions to every development. Late-night comedy shows have endless material. Political podcasts multiply like rabbits. Every single day brings breaking news alerts. Phone notifications ping constantly. News cycles move so fast that yesterday's scandal gets forgotten by tomorrow's crisis. Keeping up with current events feels like a full-time job. With all this chaos swirling around, people's minds started working overtime. They began seeing patterns everywhere. And that's when an old cartoon episode caught their attention. Why people see patterns. Humans love finding patterns. Our brains work like pattern-seeking machines. We see faces in clouds. We find lucky numbers in lottery tickets. We connect dots even when no connections exist. This tendency gets stronger during stressful times. When life feels chaotic, people search for explanations. They want to believe someone or something has control. Random events feel scary. Planned events feel manageable. The Simpsons predictions give people comfort. If a cartoon show predicted Trump's presidency, maybe the future isn't completely random. Maybe there's order in the chaos. Maybe someone saw this coming and can see what happens next. People notice evidence that supports their beliefs. They ignore evidence that contradicts their beliefs. If you think The Simpsons predicts the future, you'll spot every correct guess. You'll forget every wrong prediction. Social media amplifies these patterns beyond reason. One person posts about a Simpsons prediction. 10 friends share it. 100 strangers retweet it. 1,000 people see it within hours. Suddenly, a small observation becomes a major conspiracy theory. Algorithms feed the frenzy. Social media platforms show users content similar to what they already like. If you engage with Simpsons prediction posts, you'll see more Simpsons prediction posts. The algorithm creates echo chambers where everyone believes the same things. Entertainment and reality blur together constantly. Political news feels like reality TV. Reality TV stars become politicians. Cartoon shows predict real events. Fiction and fact mix until nobody can tell the difference. 24-hour news cycles demand constant content. Networks need stories every minute of every day. Simpsons predictions make perfect filler content. They're fun, shareable, and generate strong reactions from viewers. All these factors combine into a perfect storm. Stressful current events make people seek patterns. Social media amplifies those patterns. Entertainment culture validates conspiracy thinking. The result is millions of people believing a cartoon show controls American politics. This pattern seeking got supercharged when social media entered the picture. Suddenly, every tiny connection could spread to millions of people in minutes. Social media phenomenon. The internet has turned Simpsons predictions into a massive cultural event. Social media platforms feed off this content like hungry monsters. Every platform has its own way of spreading the madness. These TikTok videos follow the same template. Start with a hook like, "The Simpsons predicted this 20 years ago." Show the cartoon clip. Cut to real news footage. Add spooky music. End with mind-blown emojis. The algorithm pushes these videos to millions of teenagers who eat this stuff up. Content creators on TikTok have figured out the perfect recipe. They know exactly which clips get the most engagement. Trump predictions always perform well. Technology predictions do great too. The more dramatic the music, the more views they get. Some creators have built entire accounts around this single concept. Reddit conspiracy threads go much deeper than TikTok videos. Users spend hours analyzing every frame of Simpsons episodes. They create detailed posts with screenshots and timestamps. They connect dots that probably don't need connecting. The comment sections turn into digital detective work. Popular Reddit threads get thousands of comments. Users share their own theories and discoveries. They upvote the most convincing arguments. They downvote anyone who suggests coincidence. The community reinforces its own beliefs through this voting system. Some Reddit users become internet famous for their Simpsons analysis. They post regularly about new connections they've found. Other users follow them like devoted fans. These power users shape how the entire community thinks about predictions. YouTube creators know exactly how to game the system. They use bright colors and dramatic fonts in their thumbnails. They make videos exactly 10 minutes long to maximize ad revenue. They ask viewers to smash the like button and ring the notification bell. The algorithm rewards this behavior with more views. These YouTube videos often stretch thin content into long formats. A creator might spend 15 minutes explaining a 30-second Simpsons clip. They add filler content, sponsor messages, and calls to action. But people keep watching because the topic fascinates them. Viral meme creation happens faster than wildfire. Someone spots a potential Simpsons connection. They create a meme and post it online. Within hours, thousands of people have shared it. By the end of the day, millions have seen it. The meme takes on a life of its own. Popular meme formats get recycled endlessly. The Simpsons did it first meme appears in countless variations. Users apply it to everything from sports predictions to weather events. The format becomes a shorthand for any coincidental connection. Meme creators compete for viral status. They race to be the first person to spot a new connection. Speed matters more than accuracy. A quickly made meme that gets shared widely beats a carefully researched post that arrives too late. All this online buzz turned casual viewers into detectives. They started digging deeper, frame by frame, looking for hidden clues that nobody else had spotted. Fan theory evolution. The transformation from joke to prophecy follows predictable steps. It starts when someone notices a coincidence. They share it as a funny observation. Other people find it interesting and share it further. The sharing adds legitimacy to the original observation. Community-driven interpretation takes over next. Groups of fans start analyzing the coincidence from every angle. They add context and supporting evidence. They create elaborate explanations for why the prediction happened. The original simple observation becomes a complex theory. Different online communities develop their own versions of the theory. TikTok users focus on dramatic presentation. Reddit users dive deep into analysis. Twitter users create witty one-liners. Each platform shapes the theory in its own way. Echo chamber effects make everything more intense. People who believe in Simpsons predictions follow other believers. Social media algorithms show them more prediction content. They stop seeing opposing viewpoints. Their feeds become filled with confirmation of their beliefs. These echo chambers create false consensus. Users think everyone believes in Simpsons predictions because everyone they see online talks about them. They don't realize they're in a bubble. The bubble makes fringe theories seem mainstream and normal. But here's where things get really interesting. All this detective work might actually reveal more about us than about any magical predictions. Fan interpretations. The internet has turned The Simpsons into one giant treasure hunt. Fans search every frame for hidden meanings. They analyze background objects like ancient scholars studying religious texts. Every donut becomes a metaphor. Every fish tells a story. Every random detail suddenly holds the secrets of the universe. Homer's donuts have become political fortune cookies in the eyes of conspiracy theorists. Fans count the sprinkles on each donut like they're counting electoral votes. Pink sprinkles represent swing states. Chocolate glaze means red states are melting away. When Homer drops a donut, it supposedly predicts a politician falling from power. Some fans have created elaborate charts connecting donut types to political events. Glazed donuts predict economic prosperity. Jelly-filled ones mean political scandals are coming. Boston cream donuts somehow forecast New England election results. The more ridiculous the connection, the more attention it gets online. One popular theory claims that Homer eating 13 donuts in one episode predicted Trump would face 13 different legal challenges in 2025. Fans screenshot every donut-eating scene and match them to current events. They ignore all the episodes where Homer eats different amounts or no donuts at all. The three-eyed fish named Blinky has become a symbol for government corruption. Fans say the extra eye represents government surveillance. The radioactive mutation symbolizes how power corrupts everything it touches. When Blinky appears in episodes, theorists claim it predicts political scandals. Environmental activists use Blinky to represent ecological disasters. Political analysts see him as a warning about nuclear power. Conspiracy theorists think he represents the deep state watching everything. One fish has been twisted into dozens of different meanings by different groups. Background details get scrutinized like crime scene evidence. Fans freeze frame every scene looking for hidden messages. They zoom in on newspaper headlines that appear for half a second. They read signs in the background of crowd scenes. They analyze the books on shelves in library scenes. Moe's Tavern has become conspiracy central for dedicated fans. They count empty beer bottles and claim each one represents a different political scandal. The number of customers in the bar supposedly predicts voter turnout. Even the peanuts on the counter get analyzed for hidden meanings. Some fans have created spreadsheets tracking every object that appears in Moe's Tavern. They cross-reference these objects with real-world events. They look for patterns in the placement of bottles, the color of napkins, and the position of bar stools. Every detail becomes part of an elaborate conspiracy theory. The dartboard in Moe's Tavern gets special attention from symbol hunters. They analyze where darts land and connect it to geographical locations. A dart hitting the bullseye predicts something good happening. Missing the board entirely means political failure is coming. No dart throw is ever just a dart throw. Still, even the biggest skeptics had to admit something when fans discovered what they're calling the smoking gun. a scene that nobody noticed for over 10 years. Critical analysis. All this symbol hunting reveals more about human psychology than Simpsons predictions. People are naturally wired to see patterns everywhere. This tendency has a scientific name: pareidolia. It's the same thing that makes us see faces in clouds or hear voices in random noise. Pareidolia helped our ancestors survive. Seeing a tiger hiding in tall grass kept them alive. But in modern times, this pattern-seeking behavior goes wild on meaningless coincidences. Our brains find connections that don't actually exist. We see meaning in randomness. The Simpsons gives people thousands of hours of content to analyze. With so much material, coincidences become inevitable. If you look hard enough at any long-running show, you'll find connections to real events. It's simple math, not mystical prediction. Retroactive interpretation makes everything seem more meaningful than it actually was. Fans work backwards from current events to find supporting evidence in old episodes. They start with the conclusion and hunt for proof. This backwards approach makes weak connections seem strong. When Trump became president,
16 years ago, The Simpsons eerily predicted Donald Trump would be president.
fans went back through decades of Simpsons episodes looking for Trump references. They found them because they were specifically looking for them. If Hillary Clinton had won, they would have found Clinton references instead. The search determines the results. Selection bias turns coincidences into conspiracies. Fans remember every time The Simpsons seemed to predict something correctly. They forget or ignore all the times the show was completely wrong. They highlight hits and hide misses. The Simpsons has made thousands of jokes about future events over 30-plus years. Most of these jokes never came true. The show predicted flying cars, robot servants, and colonies on Mars. None of these things happened when the show said they would. But fans don't talk about those failed predictions. Cherry-picking evidence makes any theory seem plausible. You can find supporting evidence for almost any belief if you only look for information that confirms it. The internet makes this worse by showing people content that matches their existing interests and beliefs. Now comes the big question. Is this all just one giant coincidence, or could there actually be something more going on? Let's look at what might really be happening. The hidden scene reveal. Here's where things get really crazy. Deep in the Simpsons shows sits an episode that most people forgot about. Season 23, Episode 17 came out on March 25, 2012. The episode was called Them Robot. Most people watched it once and never thought about it again. But people who love conspiracy theories now treat this episode like buried treasure. Them Robot looked like a normal Simpsons episode when it first came out. The story shows Mr. Burns replacing all his workers with robots. Homer loses his job to a machine. The family has money problems. Marge tries to stay happy. Bart and Lisa deal with their dad being home all day. Just normal Simpsons family trouble. The episode was making fun of people's fear of robots back in 2012. People worried that robots would steal all the jobs. Tech companies said computers would change everything. The Simpsons writers decided to make jokes about these worries like they always do. But hidden in this normal episode are two details that make conspiracy fans go crazy. These details stayed hidden for years. Nobody saw them when the episode first came out. Only people who look at every single frame found them much later. The first detail shows up during a scene in Mr. Burns' office. Burns sits at his big desk making choices about the robot workers. The camera shows his desk from above for just a few seconds. On the desk sits a newspaper. The headline says, "President Quits," in big letters. Nothing else. No name mentioned, no other details, just those two words. When the episode came out in 2012, this headline seemed like normal political jokes. Presidents quit sometimes. It happens in American history. Nixon quit in 1974. The writers probably thought they were making a joke that could work for any president at any time. The second detail is even more specific and weird. Later in the same episode, Homer falls asleep at his new job. He drools on a piece of paper while sleeping loudly. The camera zooms in on the paper under his spit. Fans with sharp eyes noticed something amazing. The paper clearly shows the year 2025 written in the corner. This detail is almost impossible to see during normal watching. The scene lasts only a few seconds. The words are small and partly covered by Homer's spit. Most people would never notice it even if they watched the episode 10 times. Only people looking for hidden messages would ever find it. The timing makes these discoveries even more suspicious to conspiracy believers. Them Robot was made in late 2011 and early 2012. The writers and artists created these details years before Trump even said he wanted to be president. They put a "President Quits" headline and a 2025 date in the same episode by accident. Making TV shows takes a long time. The Simpsons writing team works months ahead of when shows come out. They write episodes, make drawings, record voices, and create animation long before people see the finished show. This means the "President Quits" and 2025 details were put there on purpose by someone. Animation costs lots of money and takes lots of time. Every detail costs money to make. Artists don't add random words or dates without being told to. Someone had to write "President Quits" in the script. Someone had to draw 2025 on Homer's paper. These weren't mistakes. The episode came out during Barack Obama's first time as president. Obama was well-liked and had no big problems at the time. Nobody expected any president to quit soon. The idea seemed totally random and unlikely, yet the writers put that headline in their episode anyway. Before we get too excited about conspiracy theories, let's look at some simpler ways to explain these details. The truth is usually less exciting than the theories, but it's worth thinking about. Normal political jokes explain most of what we see in Them Robot. The Simpsons has always made fun of politicians and political situations. Presidential quits make good comedy because they're dramatic and don't happen often. The writers probably thought a quit headline would be funny background humor. The show often includes fake newspapers and documents as background props. These props need words to look real. Writers and artists often use normal political phrases to fill space. "President Quits" is the kind of headline that sounds official, without being about any real person or situation. TV shows reuse props and backgrounds to save money. The "President Quits" newspaper might have been used in many episodes over the years. It could be a standard background prop that gets reused whenever the writers need official-looking documents and scenes. Random timing makes the 2025 date seem more important than it probably is. Writers often use future dates in comedy shows to make jokes about times far away. 2025 seemed far away in 2012. It was a nice round number that sounded futuristic to people watching. The Simpsons often makes jokes about dates and time periods. They've talked about hundreds of different years throughout their show. Some of these dates will match up with real events by pure chance. It's the same as throwing balls at a calendar and sometimes hitting important dates. People who want to see patterns will see patterns. Our brains are built to find meaning in random things. We connect dots, even when no connections exist. We see cause and effect where there's only chance. We turn accidents into conspiracies because conspiracies feel more interesting than random luck. Fans who believe in Simpsons predictions notice every possible connection. They remember hits and forget misses. They see patterns because they want to see patterns, not because the patterns really exist. People who analyze Simpsons episodes focus on episodes that seem to have predictions. They ignore episodes that have no prophetic parts. They highlight supportive evidence while ignoring information that doesn't fit their theory. Speculation versus reality. Let's imagine for fun how Trump might quit if The Simpsons were right. This is just pretend, not real news. Pure entertainment, like watching a comedy show. Picture this scene. Trump walks up to the podium at the White House. He adjusts his tie and clears his throat. The cameras roll. The whole world watches. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the greatest resignation in history. Nobody has ever quit better than me. Some people say Lincoln quit. He didn't. But if he did, it wouldn't have been as good as mine. Believe me, this whole scenario is completely made up. It's satire, not prediction. It's comedy, not news. But it shows how reality and comedy have gotten so mixed up that fake stories can seem almost believable. Here's something interesting about predictions. Sometimes they come true just because people believe in them. This is called a self-fulfilling prophecy. When enough people expect something to happen, they might actually make it happen. If millions of people believe The Simpsons predicted Trump will quit, that belief itself becomes powerful. People start acting like it's going to happen. They make plans based on the prediction. They talk about it constantly. They treat it like fact instead of fiction. Media companies love these stories because they get lots of clicks and views. News websites write articles about Simpsons predictions. TV shows discuss them. Social media explodes with posts about them. All this attention makes the predictions seem more real and important than they actually are. The line between entertainment and news has gotten very blurry. Comedy shows report on real events. News shows use comedy bits. Politicians appear on both types of shows. People get their news from memes and social media posts. This mixing of entertainment and information confuses people. They can't tell the difference between real journalism and fun speculation. Cartoon predictions get treated like serious political analysis. Jokes become treated like facts. When entertainment companies create content about Simpsons predictions, they're usually just trying to get views and make money. They're not trying to inform people or predict the future. They want clicks, shares, and ad revenue. But viewers sometimes forget this. They watch entertainment content and think they're getting real news. They share speculation as if it's fact. They spread theories without checking if they're true. The result is millions of people believing that a cartoon show from the 1980s can actually predict the future of American politics. Reality and fiction blend together until nobody can tell them apart. Wow, what a wild ride through The Simpsons' secret predictions. Whether you see it as spooky foresight or just coincidence, it's impossible to ignore. Smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell. Don't miss the next mind-blowing theory we uncover.